Come have a seat in the Skald circle, and hear the tale of the Lay of Vafthrudnir, as told by Casimir. Before we begin our tale, did you know that we release new stories for free every week on Wednesdays? Be certain to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Spotify, Podbean, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. That way, you'll never miss out when we release free bonus stories other days of the week. Never forget, visit theskaldscircle.com to stay up to date with all of our current happenings, and to also visit our story archive, sorted by origin and region. Now then, this begins the tale of the Lay of Vafthrudnir. "Never such a fever in my blood," cried Odin. "I so long to range far and wide." The Allfather prowled up and down Valaskjalf, as if he were caged. "What do you think, Frigg? I've a mind to visit Vafthrudnir in his high hall." "I would rather the father of warriors stayed in Asgard, home of the gods," said Frigg. "So far as I know, Vafthrudnir has no equal among the giants." "I've roamed far and I've learned much, and all that the gods know I know," replied Odin. "I want to match my wits against the riddle master, the wise giant Vafthrudnir." "Go safely then," said Frigg. "Return safely, and may the way you're taking be safe, father of men. Your mind must be needle-sharp when you pit yourself against that giant." Then Odin left Asgard to plumb the wisdom of the giant. He ferried himself across the wild and the wide and the whispering rivers, and made his way over the trembling rainbow. He pulled down his wide-brimmed hat so that no one would see he lacked one eye, smiled grimly, and walked into Jotunheim. The further Odin went, the colder it grew. He strode over a ribbed and silent plain, bright with snow, and past plumes of steam that issued from whistling fissures. And at the mouth of a valley, surrounded on three sides by the purple mountains, Odin found the hall of Ym's father, Vafthrudnir. The terrible one entered it. "Greetings, Vafthrudnir," Odin called out. "I've heard so much about you that I wanted to meet you. Is it true that you're wise? Can it be possibly true that there's nothing you do not know?" "Who are you?" demanded Vafthrudnir. "What man thinks he can slight me in my own high hall? You'll not leave this place alive unless you're wiser than I am." "My name is Gangenrad," said Odin. "A bringer of fortune, a walking charm. It's been a hard journey to your hall, and I'm thirsty. I must say I had hoped for a warmer welcome after such a haul." "What are you standing there for?" said the giant. "There's no need to hold the floor. Choose a seat and make yourself at home. Then we'll soon find out who knows more, the guest or his time-proven host." "A poor man does best to speak to the point, or say nothing at all in a rich man's hall," Gangenrad said. "Tough-minded men brook little bragging." "All right, Gangenrad," said Vafthrudnir. "Answer from the floor if you can answer at all. What is the name of the stallion that every morning draws day across the world?" "That is Skinfaxi. He is the stallion who draws shining day to gladden the eyes of men. To heroes he seems the very best of horses, and his mane is fiery." "All right, Gangenrad," said Vafthrudnir. "Answer from the floor if you can answer at all. What's the name of the stallion that over and over brings night from the east for the noble gods?" "Hrimfaxi is the name of the stallion that over and again brings night for the noble gods. Foam falls from his bit at dawn, and that's the source of dew in the dales." "All right, Gangenrad," said Vafthrudnir. "Answer from the floor if you can answer at all. What's the name of the river that divides the world of the gods and the world of giants?" "Lying is the river that divides the world of the gods from the world of the giants. In time past it has never frozen. In time to come it will flow freely." "All right, Gangenrad," said Vafthrudnir. "Answer from the floor if you can answer at all. What's the name of the plain where Surt and the fire giants will meet and fight?" "Vigrid is the plain where Surt and the fire giants will meet and fight. It's 100 miles long and 100 miles wide." Vafthrudnir stared at his guest. "You know much. Sit here at my bench and let us talk further. Here and now, my guest, in this hall, we'll wager our heads, your life or my life, on the outcome of this contest. Then Odin sat down and began to pose his questions. First then, Vafthrudnir, if in your wisdom you know the answer, at the beginning of time, wise giant, where did the earth and the sky come from? The earth was shaped from Ymir's flesh, and the mountains were built from his bones. The sky was made from the frost giant's skull, and the salt seas were the streams of his blood. Second, then, tell me, Vafthrudnir, if in your wisdom you know the answer, where did the moon and the burning sun come from, those travelers over the world of men? Mundalfari birthed the moon and the burning sun. Each day they run along the arc of heaven to tell the time for men. Third, then, tell me, Vafthrudnir, if you're so wise and know the answer, where does day come from? And from where does night come with its waning moon, travelers over the world of men? Delling is day's father, and Nor the father of night. New moon and old moon were shaped by the gods to tell the time for men. Fourth, then, Vafthrudnir, if you're so wise and know the answer, where did winter and fine summer first come from for the fine gods? Vindsfall the wind-cold was winter's father, and gentle Svoldsad fathered summer. Fifth, then, tell me, Vafthrudnir, if you're so wise and know the answer, who was the first of the giants, and what were the names of the firstborn? Bergelmir was born countless winters before the making of the earth. That mighty giant was Thrudgelmir's son, and Aurgelmir's grandson. Sixth, then, Vafthrudnir, if you're so wise and know the answer, where, wise giant, did Aurgelmir and his issue come from so long ago? Venom dropped from the stormy waves of Elevagar. It clotted and rose until it was a giant. And that is how the race of giants began, and that is why we're all so fierce. Seventh, then, Vafthrudnir, if you're so wise and know the answer, where did the grim giant conceive children, since he never slept with a giantess? It is said that a boy and a girl grew in the frost giant's armpits, and with one leg and the other, that wise giant begat and bore a son with 6 heads. Eighth, then, tell me, Vafthrudnir, if you're so wise and know the answer. What is your first memory? There can be nothing you do not know. Bergelmir was born untold winters before the making of the earth. My first memory is of that wise giant in a boat's rocking cradle. Ninth, then, Vafthrudnir, if you're so wise and know the answer. From where does the wind come that travels over the waves and yet is never seen? The eagle Hresvelg, the corpse-eater, is said to sit at the end of the world. When he flaps his wings, wind moves over the world of men. 10th, tell me now, if you know everything about the fate of the gods, how can Njord be of their number? For he presides over many temples and wayside shrines, although he was not begotten by gods. The Vanir created him in Vanaheim. At the end of the world he'll return to his own people. 11th, tell me then, if you know everything of the fate of the gods, who are the men in Odin's hall who go out to fight each day? All the dead heroes in Odin's halls go out to fight each day. They fell each other, and then soon return healed from the fight to sit at the feast. 12th, tell me now how you know all about the fate of the gods. You are indeed able to read the runes of gods and the runes of giants. I am indeed able to read the runes of the gods and the runes of the giants, because I know and have visited the 9 worlds and Niflheim below, the place where the dead men dwell. Then Odin said, I've roamed far and I've learned much, and all the gods know I know. What will survive at the end, when the terrible winter afflicts men? Lif and Lifthrasir will hide themselves in Hoddmimir's woods. The dew at each dawn will be their food. That will be their meat then. I've roamed far and I've learned much, and all the gods know I know. From where will the sun come back to the smooth sky after Fenrir has torn her apart? Alfrothrul the elf-beam will bear a fair daughter before Fenrir tears her apart. This maid will walk in her mother's ways after the gods have been destroyed. I've roamed far and I've learned much, and all the gods know I know. Who are the wise maidens who will wing over the sea? 3 times 3 maidens will fly over Mogthrasir's hill, and although they have giant's blood, they will guard the children of men. I've roamed far and I've learned much, and all that the gods know, I know. Who will rule over the world of the gods when Surt's fire dies out? Vidar and Vali will live in the home of the gods, where Surt's fire has abated. Modi the Wrathful and Magnai the Mighty will own the hammer Mjolnir after Vingnir the Hurler has fallen in the fight. I've roamed far and I've learned much, and all that the gods know, I know. What will cause Odin's death when the gods fight at Ragnarok? The wolf will swallow the father of men. Vidar will avenge him. He will tear apart those terrible jaws, and Fenrir will be slain. I have roamed far and I've learned much, and all that the gods know, I know. What did Odin himself whisper in the ear of his son Balder before he burned on the pyre? Vafthrudnir looked long at his guest and recognized him. He said in a low voice, "No one can tell what long ago you whispered in the ear of your son. Before I told of the first giants and the doom of the gods, I was already fated." The giant spoke his final words in this life. "I've pitted myself against Odin. You will always be wiser and wisest." And that is the tale of the Lay of Vafthrudnir. Thank you for listening to our story. If you enjoyed it, please take a look at our Patreon page to learn how you can earn great rewards while also supporting us. We appreciate even the smallest contributions, as they allow us to continue to release new stories every week for free on Wednesdays, and also provide bonus stories for your listening pleasure. Visit us at theskaldscircle.com to view our story archive, sorted by origin and region, and to stay up to date with all our developments. Once again, thank you for listening to our story.